Hi YouTube and welcome back to my Let's Play World of Warcraft on Wednesdays. So last week I did the Naxxramas Plague Quarter 10-man raid solo, and this week I am attempting the Naxxramas Military Quarter 10-man raid, once again soloing it. And you will quickly see that I completely failed at this one entirely, and I'll get into why once we get to the first boss, because he's the reason I completely fail. And I do feel a little bit vindicated because after my failures, I did some research on that boss to see what I was doing wrong, and it turns out that he is difficult, if not impossible to solo. And I'll go into a little bit more detail as to why once we actually get to the actual fight, so you can actually see what I'm talking about. But you know, initially, obviously, you need to get through all the trash mobs and everything, and they aggro still pretty easily, despite the fact that I'm way too high level for them and everything. And they're doing some decent damage to me, but not enough for me to be too concerned at this stage. So, getting through the trash mobs in this one is easy enough. It's the bosses that are difficult. And I think I remember saying something that I would post my failures as well as my successes. Now, the Plague Quarter I managed to get through entirely. I got all the bosses. I felt really good about myself. Was a little overconfident coming into this one. Again, I have not run any of these raids at all, and I generally don't run raids, so going in here solo is kind of interesting because it's completely new content for me, and I don't know the fights. And I could research the fights ahead of time, but to me it's actually more fun to see how well I can do without knowing the fights ahead of time. Then if I do one and I completely fail, I may try a second time, then I'll look it up, and then may or may not make one more attempt after the research, just depending on what I find out and everything. So that's basically what I did here, and I just completely failed. So I do apologize that I can't get past the first boss. I literally cannot get past him, and you'll see why in a little bit. But unfortunately, you have to actually defeat the first boss in order to get to the other ones. Whereas in some of them, like the Arachnid Quarter, I know there's one boss I was really struggling with. I am going to attempt him one more time when I get there. But if I don't defeat him, I can actually skip past him and get to some of the other bosses, I believe. I think he's off on the side. I think I can get the other bosses through other means. I could be wrong about that, but if I remember the map correctly, I think I can actually skip that one. So we will see what happens there. So yeah, so sometimes you can skip the bosses, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to defeat them before you can move on to the next area and everything. But anyway, here I try to get past as many of the trash mobs as possible, but they aggro real easy, so I ended up having to continue to fight them regardless. So hopefully the construct quarter's a little easier, which we'll be doing next week. I'm leaving the Arachnid Quarter for the last one, and we'll see if I can get through that one as well. So I keep looking at the map, just making sure I'm going in the right direction and everything. Knowing me, I get lost all the time. And here I'm trying to see if I can skirt past these guys, but nope. So, alright, fight these guys too. At least I only have to fight them in one group at a time and everything. They're not too bad. And I'm liking my my level 90 paladin abilities. I've not played a level 90 paladin yet, and I like that glowing hammer thing that comes down. I forget the name of it, execution something or other, but that one's kind of fun. And it's great because you can use it to heal yourself as well as to attack others. So I think that's one of the reasons I like the paladins, and it's probably why people going against paladins in PvP hate them so much. I think paladins and druids are the worst, as I recall, in arena play because of the fact that they can heal themselves so well. I don't know if I'll ever be as talented of a paladin as I've seen. One time, I think my husband and I, we were in a 2v2 arena battle back when he was still playing WoW, and he and I think we were in a battle with a druid for like 2 hours. Damn guy kept, well, it was a druid and something else, but it ultimately ended up busting the druid. We killed the other partner, but the druid kept making himself invisible and hiding and just kind of, ganking us around for a while. Then would come out of hiding, whack at us for a little bit. We'd get them close to death. They'd heal themselves and then disappear again. And just hide for a while. And then lather, rinse, repeat. I mean, it took a while until I guess the guy was finally bored enough, and I think we couldn't leave the arena without getting, losing points and stuff and things. And so we didn't want to leave, and they obviously didn't want to leave, but they didn't want to lose, and they were obviously going to lose, and so they just kept dinking with us for those 2 hours until they finally got bored of it. So anyway, here's the first boss. So the way you're supposed to do this fight is you have the two apprentices get mind controlled with these crystals in the 10-man. I think in the 25-man you don't get the crystals for mind control. You actually have to have priests to do the mind control. And these guys will tank the boss while your team members go in and kill him. Easy enough if you have your proper 5-man group. 10-man group in this case. However, I'm only one person, so I can mind control one guy. And the one guy, well, first of all, he's fighting against both his other understudy or assistant, whatever, and the main boss at the same time. He's not doing a lot of damage to the boss. He's just does not have enough to damage the boss. And here I am. It's like, okay, fine. I lost the apprentice. I didn't realize how this fight was going to play out, and I didn't realize how hard this guy hits, and so he kills me fairly quickly. As you can see, apparently he can hit, like, he has one hit that's like 100k, boom, and it, I've got more than 100k health and stuff, but still, it's just, he hits hard. So the second time I come back, and this time I'm like, okay, screw the mind control crystals, I'm gonna just try and take them on directly, and see if I can't just take out the boss without dealing with, just kind of ignoring the understudies entirely and just taking him out. And so here I'm just kind of seeing if I can get him away from the understudies, but of course they aggro as soon as I attack him. So I was like, okay, never mind, that doesn't work. So now I'm just kind of whacking away, and yeah, I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of these guys. The other thing I didn't realize is as soon as you kill the understudy, eventually another one shows up. So you can kill these guys all day long. They're gonna keep respawning. So it's like, okay, that's kind of sucky. And you can see how much hurt I'm getting here. And I'm trying to heal myself, and I lay on hands and everything else to try and stay alive. I probably should have been focusing entirely on the boss and ignoring the understudies, but I wanted to get rid of them first so I could focus on him exclusively. But I didn't realize that he would hurt me that much that quickly. He did earlier, but I thought, well, maybe if I just pay attention to my healing a bit better and that kind of thing, if I could stay on top of it. Unfortunately, he just, like, not all of his hits hit that hard, but every now and again he gets you with one big hit, and then there's new understudies as well. I'm like, yeah. So, third attempt, I was like, screw this, I'm gonna skip the boss. the only way to get to the other bosses is through his arena and around the corner. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to put up my Divine Shield and just run for it. So that's what I'm doing here. And right now I'm just being whacked at by the understudies. And so that's, you know, doable. But then he catches up with me. And I'm like, I keep running and I keep running. And I'm like, can I get far enough away from them to get them to lose interest in me? And of course the answer is no. So there is my failure of the military quarter. Join me next week and see if I do any better with the construct quarter. But thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoy my successes and failures in this game, please like the videos, please share them with your friends, and please subscribe if you haven't yet, because I appreciate all of my subscribers. Thank you so much for watching, and until next week, take care. Bye-bye.